Today I'm going to interview Chadrick Preuss, one of the directors for Stormrider by Jacqueline Fernandez. I want to get his thoughts as we watch the video. Here we go.
Let's run it. Yeah, and even the opening shot here, if you remember, it was like the idea was we wanted Jackie to be this kind of like goddess-like figure that was awakening, right? So we went and we had her open her eye, probe lens like right up against her eye. But this was all like the lightning was all like film, just our lights like reflected in her eye. And so in post, they had to literally go frame by frame and like draw the lightning and where her eye is, you know? So it kind of like, you can see it's not like a perfect circle, but I think the effect was really good.
You see the storm. Oh, look at that eye. Okay, here we go.
This very Game of Thrones vibe.
Real candles, by the way. When I saw that set, I was like, is this a fire hazard or... Okay, this is the room of mirrors, and we intercut between the candle room and the room of mirrors. So,
yeah, this was, I'm pretty sure, like supposed to be a one-to-one replica of the Sheesh Mahal. Mm-hmm. And it was like a very stunning room, like felt very traditional. And if you remember, we were gonna shoot the whole music video in Los Angeles at the way in the beginning. Yeah. But then we were kind of thinking like, you gotta go to India to get the real authenticity. And you would never see a set like this anywhere except for there, you know?
Ooh, back to the candle room.
And I remember like, there was so much smoke in the air for this that everyone had to wear masks. And I was like getting a crazy headache. I had to like step out. And if you like blew your nose, it was like black.
Well, I remember just going like this and going, wow.
And Jackie is such a professional, like didn't complain once. We're over here dying. She just pulls up and like executes.
She's used to it. She's used to it. She got this, this great candle room back to now. After this is a scene in a, like a full out forest. We did a nighttime forest shot. And
yeah, that was a really interesting scene. We had her like in the contact lenses. And I know you worked really closely with like our costume designer picking out all these different outfits. But she killed it. I mean, looks crazy.
So we got the contact lenses, we got the candle room. Now I want to show you guys a little bit of this amazing forest scene that's coming up. Oh, laser scene. Okay, talk to us about this.
This was actually a kind of production like nightmare because I remember the crew was like, if the laser gets in the camera, it's gonna destroy our like $200,000 camera. And we were like, okay, so how are we gonna do this? So we had to film the wider shots, you know, from a certain distance. And then the close-up angles, we had to use Anatole, our DP's personal camera. And the funny thing about that is like, you can see like, the lasers like hit the camera and it did kind of cause some like what we call rolling shutter.
Oh wow, look at that.
But the thing is like it gives it such a raw feel. Like I honestly like I couldn't be happier with how that turned out.
What was the thinking behind the laser?
So
because that wasn't in our original treatment and I think it really worked and gave it this very super futuristic vibe. But what came to you at that moment when you thought to do this?
That's a great question. I think it's like, first of all, we want to go for this kind of otherworldly feel. You know, we're creating this world. So it's not just like Game of Thrones, it's in the past. You know, this is kind of a combination between the past and the future. You know, we want it to kind of be our own. And then also just for the whole video, the whole approach was we wanted to make it different from all the other videos coming out of Bollywood. If you remember, like beautiful videos, but they all kind of have like that very polished, you know, like no shadows feel, and we wanted to go for something really gritty and cinematic, you know, that just felt like so fresh. So then we were thinking like, you know, you take a very traditional location, you know, these are all based on real forts. Like I think this is based on
MD's,
Fort or something,
MD's fort, and it is a replica of a Mughal fort.
Yeah, so these are like replicas of very traditional locations, but Jackie's coming in here and she's breaking all the molds, you know, she's singing, you know, which is very, you know, atypical for an actress, you know, she's doing all these things. So we're like, how can we break the mold here? Let's just have like lasers.
Okay.
You know?
Ooh, next scene. This next, this is one of my favorite. This is a full out outdoor shot with water, with
freezing cold.
Freezing cold with manufactured rain. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Jackie's such a pro. Like we basically wanted to have them performing in a puddle, but you know, it's a flat ground. So we had to build this little like lip so that we can store, you know, all the rainwater. And it was super cold and they're all on their knees and stuff. And like, there were like rocks and stuff, but everyone was just like there to do their best and like no complaints. They just absolutely.
I think we started this shoot at 4 in the morning.
I
we
would not be
started the
surprised.
shoot at 4 in the morning. Okay.
These were long shoot days. We
Long
should
shoot
find the
days.
schedule somewhere.
Okay. And look at this shot. Look at the water.
That's such a good moment where like, if you were in with her, like it splashes on the camera,
Yeah.
you see it, you know, like we weren't like holding back.
We're getting in there. All these dancers, they're such pros. I really love their attitude. This, I remember you guys I remember you clearing out the room, putting the dancers back in, clearing out. A lot of kind of experimentation, I think, happened in this room to get this lighting right.
I think it was like a lot of happy accidents. You know, we knew we wanted this wide with everyone dancing, but then
How'd you get that lighting?
That was crazy. Basically, what we did was we had, you know, big lights outside, and we had people spinning the doors as if they were like moving on their own, you know. And funny enough, if we go to like some of these timestamps, like you would see someone there spinning the door, and our guy in post had to like draw the person out. But yeah, this stuff looks crazy. Like could be a Vogue commercial.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And the fact that you got all those mirrors to work together without creating interference. We got this beautiful, I don't know, back to the forest scene. Now here's my body armor that I talked to you guys about before. And whoa. I usually get the look of shock from people when I see these reaction videos. I get the look of shock saying, okay, so like what? Is she queening right now? Like what's?
Oh, she's queening. She's serving.
Totally, okay, this is the culmination of this character's power, right? She's drawing the storm into her body and commanding these girls to sort of go with her. That was the concept.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't say it better. Yeah, that was amazing.
She draws the power from the storm and she rides the storm.
Yeah, and just to even talk about like coordinating with, you know, 50-ish dancers, like these crazy moves, our choreographer Kyle did an absolutely amazing job. They only had a couple days to really like do all of this.
I always get the question from people who are not in film, does it happen to rain when you guys are filming? So why is it that the rain scenes are always like a lot of rain? What if rain doesn't come so consistently? So I thought now you can tell the audience, is this real rain or is it not real rain?
Well, we didn't get lucky enough to have real rain and lightning. What we basically had were these huge rain machines and then like essentially these giant cranes that held up these huge light boxes, and those were simulating the lightning flashes. And then
it's fake rain.
It's all fake rain.
Fake rain. Ooh.
It felt like a real Hollywood blockbuster, you know, like huge cranes, 200-person crew, like.
And you wouldn't think it. You would think right here in this moment that we're seeing that there's just a group of girls just commanding, just being in a fortress by themselves, just without any sort of interference from anything modern. You're held back in time. That's what's really cool. Okay, talk to us about this decision to do this as a ending sequence.
Yeah.
When you filmed it, I didn't know where it would go. So what was the thinking behind that?
Well, I think there were a couple of things. One, you know, the track is short, you know, it's like 2.5 minutes. And we're like, we don't want the show to end, you know, it's a movie.
Yeah.
And then we also want to show this progression of her character, you know, you kind of want to show the world after. So we kind of established her waking up, coming into her power, and now it's like you want to know where's the journey going to go.
Yeah.
You know?
So you wanted her to be leaving the temple.
Exactly.
Temple in the background, and now she's kind of commanded the power from the gods, from the sky, and now she's where she belongs.
I think it's that, and also like, you know, she's going on a new adventure. You know, like we don't want it to be the end of the story. She exits frame, and you know, like it does kind of end with this like stinger where it feels like something's about to come next.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Chadrick. Stay tuned for the next series of Jacqueline Fernandez Behind the Scenes.